What's up, YouTube? I'm making a quick video about AR-15 rifles because who doesn't like AR-15s? Everybody does. That's the tightest gun, I think. Um, because they're modular, you can do whatever you want with them. You know what I mean? You can make them long, you can make them short, you can make them fat, you can make them skinny, you can make them see far, you can make them see short. Not at all. You know what I mean? You can do a lot with an AR. They come in a lot of calibers too. You know, not a come in a lot of calibers, but you can make them. You know, there's at least five different calibers, 5 or 6 different calibers that you could, conform your AR to, or have, firing from an AR platform. However you want to say it. You know what I mean? I'm not an expert on the lingo. I'm not military or law enforcement or ranger or federale or any of those kinds of things. I'm not border patrol. I'm just a civilian. And that's why I make this video, because as a civilian, I learned a lot about the rifle through YouTube videos. I was just watching a bunch earlier, and I say, damn, I should make one at least, something to give back a little bit. I don't have a lot of knowledge to share that's not already readily available to you, but I can at least show you one of my rifles, and it'll be one more video that somebody like me could be skimming through, whatever. This one here, this is Moesha. All right, once you get more than one rifle, I think you got to start naming them or something. You know what I mean? Because how are you gonna tell the difference? If I tell my daughter to go get me Moesha out the closet, this is what she's gonna bring me. Uh, I built this thing from scratch, every piece. You know, uh, the upper and the lower is both Anderson Manufacturing. Um, I've gotten a couple lowers from them, and they were, why they are not the prettiest. They didn't have any like scratches or machining markings or anything like that, and everything just was in spec, and just everything fit the way it was supposed to. Like, they're pretty good lowers. Like, what I mean? They may not be expensive or anything, but they are pretty good. Like, if I was gonna build another rifle right now, that'd be the first thing I do, is look for the cheapest Anderson lower that I could find. Not the cheapest, but I'd look for them when they're on sale. It's a good deal. You shouldn't pass it up, especially if you're a first time builder buyer. Yeah, go ahead and fuck with them. Get that upper and lower from Anderson, and yeah, just save you a couple of bucks for whatever else you want to get fancy with. Um, so back to Moesha, upper and lower, Anderson Manufacturing, um, Bull Carrier Group, Spikes Tactical. Okay, this weapon is no magazine, no nothing falling out, nothing in the chamber. It is clear. Uh, Frog lube smells great. Spikes Tactical. It's a full auto. I don't know if it's M16 or whatever, however you want to call it, but it's a full auto BCG, and it's Spikes Tactical. The barrel is black nitride, Faxon Firearms. Very nice barrel, smooth, accurate. 5.56, is what it's in. Um, it's great. It looks cool. You know, it's dope. I like this barrel. It's a SOCOM profile. The gas block, also black nitride, Faxon Firearms, low profile gas block. Pretty sweet. Gas tube as well, black nitride. It's not Faxon though. I'm sorry, I forget the company, but the gas tube is also a black nitride. Why? Because it was black. You know what I mean? It looks good by it being all black. You can't see it. Uh, Muzzle device. This is a Gun Tech USA. Very inexpensive, very cool looking. This one is. I like it. If you don't, oh well. um, Handrail. This is a 13-inch key mod, super slim UTG Pro. Not very expensive, but the rail is solid. Solid, does what it's supposed to do. I've shot a lot of rounds through this thing. I haven't had a problem with it up with the rail. It hasn't come loose or, everything's, whatever, the way it's supposed to be. I did jack up one of the screws. I did strip one of these screws in there. One of them, I forget which one it is. One of them's kind of stripped. So I'm going to have an issue getting it off. But other than that, which is my bad, the rail is great. Well, maybe they could have maybe they could have put some more baller screws. I guess maybe the screws could have been like maybe there's some room for me to complain because I know I stripped one of them, but it could have been me. It's easy to strip things, but if it's very well made, I don't know. It probably wouldn't have stripped. But whatever, I'm not gonna blame them for that. What else? Magpul furniture, the buttstock is Mo. The handle is the pistol grip is Mo. AFG, Magpul. This is the first one, not the two, not the AFG two. This is the AFG one, I guess, and that's why it's not as, it's not as fit. I guess whatever. But it doesn't like fold in there. I mean, maybe if I was like Hulk, I could squeeze it in, but it doesn't squeeze in. It doesn't come loose. I've had it on there. I like it's kind of bulky, but I really like it because I use this sort of grip, and this really this works really good for me. I probably won't change this out. I always kind of want to. I kind of want to put something smaller and more, but that's not why I built this rifle. I built this rifle to be a little bit heavier than my normal, and yeah, this helps. This helps it to be a little bit more heavier and more. I don't know. Just like it. It's gonna stay like that. Trigger, Hyper Touch. Hyper Touch 24C. I got the 2 pound springs in. Excellent drop in. Well, it's not a drop in. It's a you have to put it together. Whatever. A great trigger, dude. For the money, if you're gonna go out balling out all hard on your trigger, spending $200-300, dude, and you don't got this. If you don't got this 24C or the fucking Tar Heel, or they got a black one now too. If you don't have that, man, I don't know, dude. You can go with Geisley Super Triggers or whatever, and you know what? I don't know if I said the name right, Geisley or Giselle or that's messed up. But all those other triggers, the CMCs, they're all great. Don't get me wrong. Timneys, I got a Timney 3 pound. They're great triggers. Don't get me wrong. Those things are tight. They're if you're gonna go and get that, fine. If you just want that, go and get it. But I mean, damn, dude, for the money, you could get this, and it comes with springs that for different weights. The pedal is adjustable. I mean, it's gonna fit you. It's gonna fit you. It's gonna fit you. If I pay $300 for a trigger and I get it, there's one little tiny thing I don't like about it, that just sucks, dude. But this thing is like, if you don't like it, you can change things about it to make it better. You know what I mean? And it's so baller. I could talk about this trigger alone all day, but whatever. Hypertouch 24C. Bad lever. I got a Magpul bad lever on here just because I like things to be easy. You know what I mean? I put my mag in, I slap the bad, and it's good to go. I don't have to go here with it. I used to do that, and now I do this. So either you're gonna do this or you can do that. Whatever. Extended magazine release. This is a nifty little item to have. It just makes it a little easier to find your. You know what I mean? Once you start getting into, start worrying about time and your manipulations, it just helps to have things, easier to access and just, I don't know. It's a little quicker, a little better. My safety is regular. I don't see no need to go ambidextrous just yet. My thumb, I'm having some problems with my thumb, so I may one day go ahead and get an ambidextrous just so I don't. That's just one less thing that I could have to manipulate with my thumb because I got de Quervain syndrome in this thumb and it's not going good. What else? An AccuWedge. I got an AccuWedge in between the upper and lower. AccuWedge or I seen some other names for them, but whatever. Just this little piece, if I can get it out. So it's been in there for a little while, so it's kind of stuck. There you go. This is a nifty little item. If there's any slack between your upper and lower when you close it, let's see if this has it. Yeah, see, there's very little, but it is there. I don't know if you can hear that. Now, let's see if there's a difference when I put this in there. I'm telling you, I can definitely feel the difference, but I don't know if you'll hear it. Some other things might clank around. Oh, yeah, you see? You hardly hear shit. You see? I can't make that little clickety click that I was making earlier because it's in there. It feels real sturdy. When I first built this thing, I took it to one of my favorite ranges. I talked to the guy I know in there, and he's like, "Oh yeah, man, this is solid, bro. This is a solid build, bro. You got a really good upper and lower." I'm like, "Nah, I put the AccuWedge in there." He's like, "Oh." So yeah, that thing really works. Um, it's got a mid-length gas system. All right, my bolt carrier is full auto, which is a little heavier than normal, and a Spike Tactical T2 buffer. I forget the weight, but it's like in the middle. It's not the lightest, and it's not the heaviest, so it's like in the middle. And when I put all that together, I was trying to, I don't know what, I'm not an expert, so I don't know what if I accomplished it or not, but I know it does shoot pretty flat, and that's what I was trying to get. I was trying to make a heavier rifle that just shoots really flat and just really smooth and just optimum performance. That's what I was looking for. I wanted a little bit heavier buffer, a little bit heavier BCG to, slow things down a little bit. Mid-length gas system, just slow it down to an optimum level. Because the carbine is a little fast. Carbine is shorter. It's a shorter. It's shorter. The gas system is a little shorter, so the bolt carrier slides a little faster. I believe. I don't know. I may be wrong. You could correct me in the comments or whatever. But I think so. Yeah, the carbine is a little faster. The mid length is just a tad slower. You know what I mean? And that makes it. This thing is really like it's really easy to shoot, really easy to handle. Just I mean, all ARs are. Even though you get the most raggediest carbine system, and it's gonna run. They're gonna run relatively flat, and depending what certain little things, like your um, muzzle device. I get you maybe play with the buffer weights, and it's like the difference is so minimal. Like unless you shoot a ton of rifles and a ton of ammo, you probably wouldn't even really notice it. But I notice the difference between my rifles a little bit because I shoot them enough. You know, um, I got a gunfighter charging handle. It's not ambidextrous. It's just the Mod 4. It has a little bit of a longer handle. I don't think it's the longest handle, but it's like in the middle. These are some. These iron sights are. I want to say they knocked off Magpul, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Kind of a little bit, but I just know they work and they're cool. They're very inexpensive and they're plastic, but I mean they're good. They work. Fuck it. If they break, I look forward to buying something nicer. But whatever they'll do for now. And this is a Vortex Spark 2 red dot. I think it's one of the best on the market for the price. You know what I mean? For what you pay for it, I don't think you're gonna find very many alternatives that offer the same reliability and performance. It just works great. And I mean I've ran through a couple cheap optics, and even this is also a cheap optic. You think about it versus EOTechs and aim points and shit like that. This is relatively cheap and it works. I'm pretty sure it'll hang with those bad boys. You know what I mean? At least to some degree, to a much further degree than anything else. In Yeah, that's this thing, dude. That's Moesha. Moesha's a bad little whore. She's a loudmouth tramp. I know that. This muzzle is loud. It's loud and fiery. You know, as you might guess. You know what I mean? It looks the way it looks is the way it shoots. You know, loud and fiery. You know, not maybe not too much fire, depending on your ammo, but it is pretty loud. It's louder than my other rifle. I got one other AR that is similar, but well, no, not really. It's not similar at all. It's very different. The only thing that's similar is they shoot the same round, but there is well, it's got a lot of the same parts. It's got some similar parts, but the internals are different. So to me, it's very different. But yeah. So things I would recommend to people who are watching this video and maybe they don't have a rifle or they got a rifle or and they just don't know what to do with it or they want to like get I don't have a ton of experience to offer you, but from what I do know, places you don't want to fucking places you don't if you're gonna build your rifle, you don't want to spend a lot of money. I mean, shit. There's a lot of things where you could save a buck, but there's a lot of things where you kind of want to spend that extra dollar because it's just worth it. It's just more worth it. It's gonna last longer and be better and just more shit. Just overall better. Bolt carrier group. Spend some money on that. You know what I mean? Buy a good bolt carrier group because that's the main thing. The bolt, not even the carrier, but the bolt itself. It has to be good. You know what I mean? Because if you have problems with that, you're gonna end up replacing it. So might as well buy a good one. Right off the bat, buy a good bolt carrier group. Get a good barrel. Go with for if you're gonna get a good bolt carrier group, go for a good barrel. You know what I mean? You can't hurt. It can't hurt. Go for a good barrel. Get a decent optic. Don't waste time and money because it's gonna make you quit. You're gonna be questioning your rifle. Like, damn, what's wrong with this gun? Like, nothing's wrong with the gun. You put a cheap ass optic on there. Like, get rid of that cheap ass optic, and then we can talk. Put something a little nicer on there. You know, and you're gonna be more happier than blowing up cheap ones. Because I ran through a couple cheap ones, and it ain't fun. It ain't fun, dude. It's a waste of money, and when the time comes, it's gonna disappoint you a lot. It's gonna hurt, you know. Um, Trigger. That might be a little fancy. A lot of people get the regular trigger and they do their little polish jobs or whatever they want to do. They start messing with the little internal springs and they want a better trigger, but they don't want to spend any money. Like, dude, stop it. You know what I mean? Stop it. Get rid of that crunchy stock trigger and just get a nice drop in, or something like this, and be happy. That's all to it. Or don't mess with nothing. Leave it the way it is, and just deal with that crunchy 7 pound. But you know what I mean? Deal with that thing. But don't play with it. Don't try to do something silly that's not really. Cause it ain't gonna work. I mean, I guess it does, but it ain't that big of a difference. You're still gonna have it's still gonna be heavy. You might polish it and you might put some springs that might make the pull a little smoother, but it ain't gonna drop the weight a lot. It ain't gonna drop the weight enough to compete. You know what I mean? To compete with these other triggers, dude, because they're nice, man. You slap a nice Timney in there, you're gonna be satisfied. You know what I mean? It's like a potato chip. That's it. It's gonna break. The trigger's gonna break, not you know, I don't know. I don't know what to say about the stock trigger, but it's ugly. I mean, it does work though. It will get the job done. Don't get me wrong. Um, what else? What else would I say? Where should you spend money? Where could you be cheap at? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about where you could be cheap at. Um, the lower, upper and lower. I'm telling you, upper and lower. I mean, I wouldn't go super cheap, but I wouldn't look to spend too much money. Maybe on the upper, okay, yeah, but the lower at least, dude, I wouldn't spend too much money on the lower. I don't get it. I don't get spending $300-400 for the lower just because it looks nice. Like, okay, well, yeah, that's what you want, then that's what you get. Get it because it looks nice, but don't try to give me no crap saying that. Oh, well, this one's better because it costs more. Like, no, it's not. It's the same. It's the same lower. You just paid more for it. That's all. That's the only real difference. Um, what else? Uh, Muzzle devices, that too. That's another thing that they got some people out there making some decent quality. I won't say that they're better than what costs more money, but shit, dude, I've got a couple muzzle devices that I didn't spend a lot of money on, and they work just fine for what I use them for, and I don't see a problem with that. I don't see any reason to go and spend a lot of money on a muzzle device, just because. Like, I mean, if the technology is there and maybe, I guess so. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll actually shell out a couple of bucks for a fancy muzzle device, and then I could, see from that side of the fence. But from where I sit, I don't see the reason to spend a lot of money on the muzzle device when there are good options for not that expensive. If you didn't have any good options, then fuck it. But as long as you still have good options like that, dude, I don't see why I should spend a lot of money on that. Um, Charging handles too, man. Charging handles are cool though. I wouldn't mind to spend a couple bucks on a good looking charging handle because they are tight. I get that. So I ain't gonna talk about those. Um, Iron sights. I don't see the reason to spend a lot of money on iron sights. You know what I mean? And only when they're iron. If they're iron and they're like, type of sights to where like, I'm definitely gonna use them. Like I need this gun to go to war. Yeah, then I'll put some good iron sights on there. But like I'm just a civilian. As a civilian shooter, shit. I don't see the reason right now to spend a lot of money on some iron sights. But that could change. That could change. Cause I don't know, shit. It might, we might be getting close to that time. I don't know. But this video is going on for a long time. I'm trying to wrap it up. Um, get some ammo, get some everybody likes to scream about training, 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 you know what I mean? Get some training, you know. I haven't got there yet. I haven't taken any fancy ass classes or whatever, but I do a lot of shooting. I do a lot of shooting, and I'm not talking about just me going to the range and standing in a stagnant position shooting a bunch of paper, shooting a bunch of random holes in paper. Like I try to get outdoors as much as I can, and I run some certain types of drills and stuff like that. Like I don't want to get all into it. That's a whole different video. But yeah, get some ammo, get some fucking skills under your belt, get some fucking some time, get some time behind that gun, and build it up tight. Build it up tight, and you won't be dissatisfied at all. And it's not scary. It's not complicated. Building it might seem like it's expensive, but it's really not, dude. Because you're gonna do it at your own pace. You're gonna buy your parts at the pace that you can afford them. I put a decent amount of money into this gun, and I don't even really remember it, just because it was just part by part by part by part. You know what I mean? It took me like maybe like a month, 2 months, maybe longer. Maybe it was like 3 months. I don't even know. I don't remember. All I know is that once I had everything, I put it all together. Took me one night, and it was just beautiful. Tools, you're gonna need to buy a couple of little tools. You know what I mean? Whatever. You need a vise, you need a torque wrench, you need a fucking receiver block. Um, everything else you probably already have in your garage, or if you own any other guns, you probably have a lot of the stuff that you would need to put it together. Pin punches and Allen keys and stuff like that. But it's very simple, a very modular weapon system, and a blast to shoot. Definitely a blast to shoot. Very fun, very easy to manipulate. Not, even when you really start getting into it, dude, it's really not that difficult. And yeah, that's probably all I want to say, man. So I hope everybody that watched it, or if anybody watches it, enjoys what they saw or heard, or at least passed your time and got you thinking, and you know what I mean? Yeah. Fools are probably like, man, I'm about to go name my rifle right now and shit. Fuck Moesha. Don't hate. Don't hate on Moesha. Don't hate on her because she's pretty. You know what I mean? Don't hate on her because she's pretty. Because she is. She knows she's pretty. She does. Oh, yeah. So yeah, man, thanks for watching. Happy shooting, man. Happy fucking, happy Easter, whatever. I'll try to get some more better content and maybe write a script next time or something so it won't seem so random and like, I know this was like a weird video. I'm not even at home. I'm not in the comfort of my own home or at the office. I'm like, I'm out. I'm out and about right now. I don't want to say where, but I'm not at home. And I still got Moesha with me. That's a trip, huh? Nah, it's not. It's normal. It's normal. It's normal. I mean, of course, you're always gonna have a fucking pistol. You know, that's my Glock. Let me make sure it's there. Yeah, this is my Glock 19. I carry all the time. It's you know, it's a Glock 19, so it speaks for itself. Nothing too fancy. You know, got my little stipple job going on here. I did that myself. My girlfriend was nice enough to buy me this fancy barrel, so watch out. Uh, but this ain't no Glock video. This is an AR video. All right. So Moesha is gonna be in the last shot, because it's really not no negatives to it. I don't think. What's the negative to owning a AR? It's too long. It's too much gun for you. Oh man, I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that. But yeah, ARs, build it and shoot it, learn it. You'll love it. I promise.